Station Love 101, time for the Morning Watch with host Reverend Dr. Darren Toussaint.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, with a face-to-face classes. And in the second watch, should church leaders be involved in promoting COVID vaccination? Our social media question we ask, what are your thoughts on church leaders being involved in promoting COVID vaccination? Please share your responses on our Facebook page, Love 101 FM, and also whether by post or voice note to WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
This morning's I quote, beware of the half-truths. You may have gotten hold of the wrong half.
You know, my response to that is that is totally true. That's totally true. Yes, totally true.
It's quite timely, you know.
Yeah. By the way, Siobhan, what happened yesterday, man?
You're good, you know.
You're good.
I'm good.
You know what I'm noticing? That you have become so busy as an ambassador that I might have to make an appointment to see or to hear you.
I know, you should.
Go on, Chevy. Go on. The first watch will be back after this break.
You are fresh, we say. Fresh move, fresh style, fresh juice drink, fresh flavor. We drink fresh. Orange, cranberry, lychee, sorrel, grape. Fresh taste great.
Stay refreshed all summer long with our flavorful fresh juices and beat the summer heat with our super cool fresh caps. When you purchase 3 fresh 500 ml, you will receive a branded cap offer valid at participating outlets island-wide while stocks last. Check out our social media pages at FreshJA to find an outlet near you.
Get fresh, get fresh.
Drink fresh, look fresh for the summer.
What can we do to preserve our livelihoods from the extreme weather caused by climate change?
Well, rainwater harvesting is one. You catch it, you pipe it, and your farm have water. Drought is hardly a big problem to me now.
Smart and steady, get climate ready.
Visit PPCRJA on Facebook for more on climate change.
Digicel, top the game 20 years and growing. Long up to smartphones, so HD showing. Digicel broadband and service to the nation network.
Digicel born and raised in Jamaica. Been at this for the love and the paper. 20 years and counting, ain't that something? Ain't that
We
something?
keep getting better and better. How we step on the scene, people they must say Digicel forever. Technology we keep the kids them clever. And the service is a pleasure. So Digicel, a myself, yeah.
It's our Independence, Jamaica, and Berger wants you to celebrate with our Step Up to Savings promotion. That's right, get 10% off selected paints and get a free gift with your purchase. So whether you want to show off your national pride with colors like black, green, and gold, or you're interested in any of our thousands of colors, you'll still get 10% off and save big. Promotion ends August 31st, and remember, get a free gift with your purchase. Berger, for lasting beauty and protection.
Take control of your future with free online training through the Flow Foundation. Access certified courses in social media management, finance, big data analytics, and more for free in partnership with one-on-one educational services. Over 100 online courses with expert guidance will help you unlock job opportunities or grow your business better. Take control of your future for free. Register online at flowfoundationja.org.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, the Delta variant is in Jamaica, and its arrival has the Ministry of Education rethinking the resumption of face-to-face classes. Indeed, last week, the Minister of Education reportedly stated that this is new news for us. So we'll have to recalibrate, to look again, to speak with the Ministry of Health and Wellness to be able to advise our Jamaican parents. What the dates are that we will be looking at for schools in a face-to-face environment. End of quote. And so this morning, we are addressing the question with our face-to-face classes. And to discuss this issue, we have online Ms. Carol Thorpe, National Youth Parliamentarian, and Deacon Ronnie Thwaites, Attorney at Law and former Minister of Education. Good morning to you both.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Carol. How are you doing? You all right?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am well. And how are you doing, Deacon Thwaites?
I'm fine, thanks. Thank you so much for asking.
Yes, okay. Well, let me begin with you, Carol. Tell us a bit about yourself in terms of the school you attend, the form you are in, and what it means to be a youth parliamentarian.
I am a recent fifth form graduate of the St. Andrew High School for Girls. However, I do plan to return to sixth form, well, in October, September, because it's not September. As a youth parliamentarian, basically we're the voice of the youth in our nation. And what that means is that we play a role when it comes on to educating and advocating on the issues that you face. One of the main roles that we play is that we play a huge part in the affairs of the country, as we have the sitting of the Youth Parliament, which usually takes place in November, and we debate on motions that are based on the issues that trouble the Jamaican youth. As parliamentarians, we're also assigned constituencies. I am the youth parliamentarian responsible for the constituency of Southeast St. Catherine, and I'm supposed to install a project that will benefit my constituency and the youth that are residing in it.
Okay, great. And when did you become a youth parliamentarian?
I became a youth parliamentarian recently. I believe I got appointed in June.
And the process, how was that done?
Well, you submitted the application form, and the application form was very thorough. You answered questions based on not only your community involvement, but also the issues that you cared about. And we got a response time pretty delayed due to COVID. However, it has been a pleasant experience for the most part, and I look forward to not only putting in my project, but really impacting the youth that I actually get to interact with in my constituency.
Okay, great. Deacon Thwaites?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the nation's children have had to adapt to online classes for approximately a year and a half. Now, as a former Minister of Education, how do you think that has worked so far? And what are your concerns in that regard?
Well, I don't think our children have adapted to online classes. Many have tried, but the results are dismal. We have lost a year and more. We're approaching 2 years loss of effective education for all but a minority of our children. And this is the greatest crisis that Jamaica faces.
Oh, Deacon Thwaites, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm hearing you. You heard me?
Yes, I didn't hear the last part so clearly. Could you repeat that?
This is the greatest crisis that Jamaica faces right now. The loss of 2 years, effectively 2 years of effective education, already limited, already below what we need to have as individuals and as a nation. This is the unspoken crisis of the times. It is as deadly as COVID.
And in terms of the students themselves, from what you have been able to hear, what have you been hearing in regards to how they have been coping?
Many have been trying their best in the various platforms that have been bravely but largely ineffectively put forward. by schools, by the Ministry of Education, by parents and others. You don't see the results of this in the short run, Reverend. We reap this in the long run. We are at this point promoting children to higher grades in all of our schools who haven't completed the work of the previous grade and maybe the one before that. This is madness. We must stop doing it. We are colting our future. We are cramping the prospects of individuals, all of the individuals involved.
So the online classes you're saying is madness. You're not for that at all. Am I hearing it clearly?
Look, it would be a great idea were we able to have prepared properly for it, if it had been inclusive to engage everybody. I'm certainly not saying that the effort is ill-conceived, but the effect of it and the reach of it has been substandard. Not through anybody's fault, but we must realize what has happened to us, what is happening to us, and make sure that we do not continue along this path.
Carol? Yes, you have had first-hand experience in terms of online classes. How has that been for you and your colleagues? And what would you regard as the pros and the cons?
I think that question is so multifaceted, as the experiences differ from person to person, parish to parish, and school to school. However, I do think that one of the main cons that it has really, how it has impacted us, it has literally allowed us not to have the same social interaction that we need and crave in order to get through school life properly. Because you're confined to a computer screen, you're not interacting with the person in the same way. You have this whole barrier of just not being able to see and truly connect with the person, as well as, and this really crippled us when it came on to, it brought about so many mental issues that we weren't concerned about before the pandemic, that we weren't really invested in. I think also it was the fact that there was a very large lack of accessibility that some students face because of lack of devices or lack of a stable internet connection. Because yes, some persons had access to it, but how often to it? On a more positive note, I think we all appreciated being able to get more sleep in before school. I think that was, a pro we all enjoyed. I think for me as well, like being able to see all the coursework that you had to do if your teachers uploaded them on time. I think it was based on a lot of conditions that weren't necessarily controlled by us. And if, as I agree with Mr. Thwaites, if we had actually been properly planning to have a distance learning program, it would have been executed a lot better instead of the rush that happened in the pandemic.
So are you picking up, Carol, that there is an eagerness for most of your colleagues to be back with face-to-face?
We all want, I think a lot of us want to be back to face-to-face. We want to be back to regular school because that's what, not only that we're used to, it's what's benefiting us greatly. A lot of us saw like decline in grades dramatically. We weren't understanding the concept, and even sometimes we were getting the grades, but if you asked us to explain, we couldn't because we weren't grasping the content properly, because teachers were rushing through course material, and it was to some degree you felt like you were being rushed. And this is not my only personal experience, it's mainly from my colleagues, because I had a decent enough experience not to want to do it again, but my experience was okay enough.
Yes. And in terms of the challenges, because you might be having a blended approach, and some people have been experiencing that. What's the feedback with that so far? The blended approach so far to this, the classes?
I did get to experience the blended approach in terms of going to school some days and not going to school. The blended approach works for persons who go to face-to-face. The blended approach does not work for students who stay home. And I think what happens is you have one teacher trying to teach 12 students that are sitting in front of her. It's easier for him or her to connect with that person. But then they have 8 sitting on the computer that is off to the side, and they're trying to teach the full class, but they can't teach the full class because it's either going to be giving the people online the attention and not connecting with the ones in front of you, or you're going to be giving the ones in front of you the proper connection and not connecting with the ones that are online.
Right.
So I think if we're supposed to go back to that blended approach, I think there needs to be a teacher or somebody, some person who is actually paying attention to the online students and another person who's paying attention to the ones who are physically in school.
Okay. All right. Tell you what, Carol and Deacon Thwaites, we are at a break. We'll be right back.
This is Love 101, the family station, 7:15 Suko.
You gotta make wellness your way. Make it your habit each day. Gotta do it for you. Gotta do it for
Come follow me now. A little more walk, little run, little more exercise. Eat right, sleep tight, good health at the price. Make time for yourself, friends and family. Make a plan, get protection. That's the key. Financially, physically, and mentally. Wellness me a breathe. Sagicor and me. Visit the Sagicor Wellness Hub at sagicor.com.
Make it your habit each day. Gotta do it for you. Gotta do it for you.
DIGICEL. First in a class when you have Digicel. School as Prime Bundle. That's right, with your educational website, make you bright. Head to the top of your class with your first Digicel SIM and a School as Prime Bundle. Get over 142 gigabytes of data so you can have access to educational sites, social media platforms, Digicel apps, and more for as low as $1,500 for 28 days. Get a School as Prime Bundle with your first Digicel SIM card. Visit the Digicel store today. DIGICEL.
Chris and Charles has something special for you this and every Friday at 11:45 a.m. Listen to the information carefully, then answer the questions in the Chris and Charles Financial Quiz Corner. There is so much to learn and you can win something fabulous from Chris and Charles. That's the Chris and Charles Financial Quiz Corner, Fridays at 11:45 a.m. Chris and Charles, when you think loans, think Chris and Charles. And it's on the family station Love 101.
NIS pensioners, avoid the wait. Get your NIS pension straight to your bank account. It's easy. Simply visit the Ministry of Labor and Social Security's website, mlss.gov.jm, or the nearest NIS office and collect the direct deposit application form. Then complete the form and submit it along with supporting documents to the NIS office nearest you. Avoid crowds and long lines. Get your money when you want it. The National Insurance Scheme, always working for you.
Man of God, the Purpose and Wealth Men's Conference, August 27 and 28 is for you. Get insights on God's kingdom purpose for you. Learn about business and investment opportunities. There is a mentorship program to help you. Conditions apply. Speakers include Dr. Sam Vassell, Dr. Bill Winston, Dave Hodson, and Dr. Al Miller. It's online, so register now at feltabonline.org/KMC.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the first watch, we are looking at the whole matter of the future of face-to-face classes in Jamaica. And we have online Deacon Ronnie Thwaites, former Minister of Education, and Miss Carol Thorpe, National Youth Parliamentarian. Welcome to you both again to this, the second half of the first watch. Deacon Thwaites, yes, Deacon Thwaites, last week the Ministry of Education reportedly stated that it will require students 12 years and older to be vaccinated before being allowed to attend face-to-face classes in the near future. What are your views and concerns in terms of this development?
I understand entirely what the minister is trying to achieve. I would recommend that all the students in that category avail themselves of vaccination without delay. However, I do not believe that you should exclude a student. So drastic is the consequence of that. Even if they are not vaccinated, special provisions must be made in order that they too may be accommodated. Cannot be absolute.
Oh, so even if your view, Ronnie, even if they are not vaccinated, they should be able to attend class with the same persons who are vaccinated?
Yes, they may have to be put under special conditions, look here, the root of this thing, what do we go to school for? We go to school to learn certain things, but we learn how to behave, how to live. And the issue of contagion has to do with human behavior. And it is not beyond us to behave in different ways, to institute regulations in a school that place people in different categories. But let it be clear that while I think the greater good is to have unvaccinated children in school, my strong advice is that all of them should, except for compelling medical reasons, be vaccinated. And I commend the government for the efforts that they're making in that regard now.
Carol, what's your thought on that?
I understand why the decision was made. I do agree to some degree with Mr. Thwaites. I believe that based on the current situation of indiscipline when it comes down to behaving protocols, vaccinations is one of the best shots we have at returning to some semblance of normal. Pun unintended. I think what we need to really be doing is educating people based on the vaccine itself. I think what's one of the greatest downfalls is currently why people have so many apprehensions, because they're taking in information from so many different places and it's not coming from the government that they're supposed to trust. They're taking in propaganda information, which can be very harmful to the whole promotion of vaccination. So I do believe that we should be trying to get children vaccinated as best as possible. However, I do understand if people have their apprehensions about it, and I don't think they should be excluded from a proper, effective educational system, whether it is face-to-face or online.
So let me get it clear, Carol. Are you okay with the unvaccinated children attending the same face-to-face classes with the vaccinated children?
Okay, so I'm not sure. I don't think okay is the word I would use. I think if they are there, it's there. I just think there needs to be. We're all going to be observing the protocols, so we should all be observing the protocols. So whether or not they're attending, it really isn't. It should not be that huge of a deal. It shouldn't make that huge of a difference whether or not they're attending. Once we're all obeying the protocols.
Okay. Still with you, Carol. There are those who posit the view that the same directives should be issued to teachers. What's your say on that matter?
I believe that what people are asking for is equity. It seems unfair rather, that a lot of the burden to prevent the stuff of COVID-19 is placed on the students. However, schools cannot function without teachers. And I think what needs to happen is a middle ground being met to understand where teachers are encouraged to get vaccinated. They are encouraged to just get the job done so that we can return to face-to-face school. However, I think it's I don't want to say it's a personal decision, because we currently have vaccines that you cannot go to school without taking. And again, I think education really needs to happen so that less people will have apprehensions about it. And even after the education is given, people will still be apprehensive. People will still not be able to take it. However, as they've been saying by the CDC and the World Health Organization, the more people we have vaccinated, the higher herd immunity is, and therefore the less COVID-19 will be spreading and affecting us dramatically.
Deacon Thwaites, your take on that?
Reverend Tesselt, taking the vaccine, if you're in a position of responsibility and if you expect, because of your job or your preference, to mingle with other people, is not a personal choice, it's a moral obligation. Yes, ultimately everything is, nobody's going to hold you down and put the needle into you, but the churches, particularly Christian people of faith, need to be clear on this matter. It cannot be right for me to make my personal choice and insist on placing my vulnerable self, contagious self, in the face of others and forcing them to account for it. I strongly believe that teachers should be required to be vaccinated.
And if not, they should not attend face-to-face classes?
Look here, I'm worried about absolutes. There will be people who cannot or who won't be, but they certainly cannot mingle with students and others and expect to be treated as if everything is under nothing. If they choose or are in a situation where they do not take the normal precautions. Good Lord, can't we agree on that much? We are our brother's keeper, you know. We can't take selfishness and personal idiosyncrasy or whatever. I'm not making light of it, but I am saying that the Christian, the ethical person, even if not a Christian, does not live for themselves. They live for the common good, particularly if they have a responsible job like teaching.
Are there not those, though, Deacon, to it, who their opposition to it, their reluctance, is based, well, as you have said, some of them are medical concerns, but some are philosophical concerns, and I dare say some are even religious concerns. What do you say to those people?
I respect their concerns, and I encourage them to remain close to themselves and not to come near me or my children.
But at the same time, the unvaccinated children, you're okay with them going to the classes with the vaccinated children?
Then it shows the greater good. And I believe that it's possible for you to regulate the children, their transportation, their behavior in school in ways that, despite their unvaccinated status, largely because, or often because of parental or other concerns that they have no direct control over, need to be accommodated. The same is not true of adults who have a choice and who can make that choice.
Carol, I sense that you want to come in again on that note.
You asked the question I was actually thinking of. You are okay with students returning, but teachers, it's a bit different. I think you're gonna so the unvaccinated children who don't want to come to school, or just students who don't want to come to school at all. I think if you're of the view that they shouldn't be interacting with them, isn't it safe to say unvaccinated teachers teach unvaccinated children or students who cannot come to class? Is that necessarily something that you're thinking of along that lines, Mr. Thwaites?
Could be, yes. That's possible, if that can be arranged. But you see, my feeling is that one of the things that life is about, one of the things that citizenry is about, that education must advance, is a common good. And we do not have an educated, universally accepted notion of the common good in Jamaica now, and it's hurting us all around. And therefore, there may be things that I'm reticent to do for myself, but when I consider my obligation to others, I accept the need to do that. And that's why I'm making the strong philosophical position. And Reverend, your station, you personally, me, all of us, someone as obviously as wise for her age as Carell, need to put that forward. That is the underlying principle that needs to be advanced in this question and others.
Well, as you mentioned the word advance, face-to-face classes may very well resume. A blended approach, and some persons would have to stay home and some go to the classes. What are your closing words of advice to students who will be allowed to attend face-to-face classes and those who will be restricted online at home? Carol?
For those of us who might be returning to face-to-face classes, I think we just need to remember this is not a free-for-all. We cannot live as we once did. We have to stick to the protocols. We have to observe all the same regulations we've been observing for the past couple months, because that is essential for us to continue having face-to-face classes, for us to continue being able to do that. For those of us who might be staying online, we've done this before. We can do it again. We've been guided with more information. So my best recommendation is just to plan, strategize, and stay strong, because it is absolutely extremely tiring to do online school. It is not an experience I think I would like to go through after this.
And Deacon Thwaites, you have the final word.
Well, I'm so gratified to hear Carell's thoughts, and I endorse them. And pithily, I want to say, let's get back to school as quickly as possible, and let us bend our efforts to ensure that we make the proper transportation arrangements, the proper nutritional arrangements. You know how many children are hungry over this period where there's been no school food, and where we comport ourselves as teachers, administrators, parents, and students towards the greater good of protecting each other and also of advancing education. That lost, we have a dismal future. That attempted, even spottily and with some shortcomings, can take us into a new epiphany.
Okay, I want to thank Carol Thorpe, National Youth Parliamentarian, Deacon Ronnie Thwaites, former Minister of Education, for joining us on this, the first half of our program. Have a blessed and safe day. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Auto loan, helping you on your journey. Roll out and make a statement in your brand new vehicle.
The time by JN will help you find a way is 7:31.
Digi Bongs. Make we rich together with Digicel. Just call 142 or dial star 142 number sign from your prepaid phone for a chance to win your share of $42 million in cash and prizes. Enter to get $500 bonus credit. Smartphone users get 500 megabytes any use data and 1 gigabyte BIP data, while non-smartphone users get 10 minutes and 50 SMS free for Digicel to Digicel calls and texts. Each entry costs $100. From now until September 14th, make we rich together with Digicel. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Every weekday on Love 101, we give you a time to celebrate your family and friends inside Celebration Club. Call in and send birthday, anniversary, other special day greetings, or just heal up your friends just because. It's Celebration Club, and every first and last Tuesday, it's brought to you by Fontana Pharmacy. Fontana Pharmacy, so good inside. It's a Celebration Club, celebrating families and friends. That's the way love goes. Every weekday at 3:45 on the family station, Love 101.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. CIBC First Caribbean reminds you that our ABM cards will be deactivated on September 30, 2021 and upgraded to the Visa debit card. Your Visa debit card does everything your ABM card does and more. Use it at any ABM and to shop locally, internationally, and online with funds directly from your savings or checking account. Visit CIBCFCIB.com to sign up for a CIBC First Caribbean Visa debit card today.
H&L Ultimate Touch Promotions Limited invites you to celebrate with us during our 12% 12 for 12 Bliss discount and anniversary sale ending October 30. Visit 31st Studio 1 Boulevard Crossroads or call 876-754-7825-6. H&L Ultimate Touch Promotions Limited. We take printing to your door.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Well, let's take a look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, ganja blow. Epican ordered to destroy 1,000 ganja plants after license expires. And then we see here that Hope Zoo gets extended lifespan. Great news. And the J&J, finally, single-shot vaccines bring relief for elderly and calm needle fears. And don't I know about that? And then Observer, no movement exemption list too long, says doctors. And then brace for more rain. Seriously? And then the nurses' surprise. Health Minister, NAJ president say action of health professionals caught them off guard. Wow. Well, those are some of the major stories and headlines in the newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question. What are your thoughts on church leaders being involved in promoting COVID vaccination? Please Share your responses on our Facebook page, Love 101 FM, and also whether by text or voice note to WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. Soon come back.
And before we come back, where motorists are being advised that the eastbound lane of Marcus Garvey Drive heading into Kingston is impossible at this time, and persons must use alternative routes or delay travel until the waters have receded. And that's from the JCF. All right.
Thank you.
You're invited to listen to Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. We'll give you tips on how to make your money count, how to save, and how to grow your worth. It's all inside Dollars and Cents, brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher. That's Dollars and Cents every Thursday at 8:16 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
It's Marriage Models Thursday. Tune in this Thursday, August 26th, for a rebroadcast of To Haven't to Hold with host Colleen Beckles and marriage models of 42 years of marital bliss, Rose and Lester Lewis. That's a rebroadcast of To Haven't to Hold this Thursday with marriage models of 42 years of marital bliss and pioneers of gospel reggae, Lester and Rose Lewis, on your family station, Love 101.
We hit the road again this weekend for I Love Summer Takeover. Join me, Siobhan Blair, your youth ambassador, on Friday, August 27 at the Richmond New Testament Church of God, Main Street, Richmond, St. Mary, for the I Love Summer Youth Fellowship Takeover. And if you can't be on location, be sure to join us live at 7 p.m. We'll also stream across our social media platforms. Youth Fellowship Takeover, Richmond New Testament Church of God, Main Street, Richmond, St. Mary, 7 p.m. I can't wait to see you. It will be an experience. COVID-19 protocols will be observed.
Love 101 FM says thanks to our sponsors, University of the Commonwealth Caribbean, fostering leadership and innovation. Shade Purified Drinking Water. Think Up, Stay Cool. Distinction College, providing opportunities for you. And Fellowship Tabernacle, building nation changers. I love summer. It's time to explore.
I love summer. I love it.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's join Siobhan for a look at how our Facebook and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. What are your thoughts on church leaders being involved in promoting COVID vaccination? Siobhan.
All right, this comment from Christine. It says they can talk to them about it, but not force them to take it. Another one says church leaders are leading by example. All right, and we have a voice note here. Let's do this one.
Greetings, Love 101. In response to the question there that was posed, concerning our thoughts and the church leaders that are encouraging, the take up of the, the so-called vaccine. Two scriptures I'm going to leave. The word of God declares that, woe unto the shepherd who lead my people astray. And those leaders that are out there that are encouraging, those church leaders that are there encouraging the take up of this bio weapon. The scripture also declares that they have a form of godliness. This is what I'm saying to you leaders, you church leaders that are listening right now. You all just have a form of godliness, but denies the power thereof. And your reward is not going to be something that you're going to clean your teeth and enjoy.
Oh, okay. All right. Jackie Saunders, good morning. And Jackie says, my vaccinated pastor encourages us to take the jab since its availability. He also stressed that we not listen to the conspiracies, but rather read up from reputable sources and make our decisions. That's commendable. All right. And this final one, this one says God allows us to make our choices, so we should read up and do the right thing. If it's pretty much saying if that's the will, then that's the will. I think that's what the person is trying to say. I think I'll leave it there, Rev.
Yeah, we better have some serious comments there. Thank you very much. Thank you, listeners, for your responses. Our question for this, the second watch, is should church leaders be involved in promoting COVID vaccination? Why is it? Well, there are reports and press releases from church leaders and groups encouraging Jamaicans to take the jab. And some are asking, what business is it of the church? Should they be promoting non-vaccination? Should they be discussing it at all? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have joined us this morning Bishop Dr. Alvin Bailey, Vice President of the Jamaica Association of Evangelicals, and Mr. Basil Hanson, founder of MTM TV and a Christian activist. Good morning to you both, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. Yes, I know. See you, Basil. All right. And you are with us, Bishop Bailey.
Yes.
All right. Yes, great. Good to have you both, gentlemen. Well, let's start. Let's start from the get-go. What are your views on the involvement of church leaders in the promotion of COVID vaccination and why? Beginning with you, Bishop Bailey. Come on, set up that. Woe unto the shepherds that lead my people astray.
Well, strong words. When COVID struck, when I think that my church and the rest of the church community started to do is to pray for a vaccine. When I was alone saying God for a cosmic miracle that just rip one and and realize they are really just fall and everybody will go in and get healed. The most of the church were praying for a vaccine. In the midst of that, of a technology that is 30 years old, and it is proven. There was a platform with about 1,000 persons with personal testimonials of the fact that the vaccine made a difference. Get a vaccine that doesn't have the result of the previous vaccine, which is not a fault of the vaccine, a fault of the terrible nature of the COVID, Satan imposed COVID. And so, vaccine helps. Vaccine prevents persons proven empirically from dying, right? Of course, there are a few adverse cases, but hundreds of thousands of persons who are of testimony of vaccine helping. And so, I am sorry, I have to, choose that which gives life rather than that which takes life, or do nothing. I am not doing nothing. I am doing my part, and faith does the other part. That's where I'm with it.
Mr. Hanson, your take on it.
Well, it's not a yes or no issue, Rev. It's neither black or white. Whether or not Christian leaders should promote. If I'm going to promote something, I need to know what it does, how it works, and what's the end result. I cannot promote something that I am not sure how it is going to operate, what it's going to do to people. These are lives. So for me, I think people are free to exercise their democratic rights, to do what they want to do in a legal way. And I think the pastors who have done that, they have done that in a legal way. However, we have to look at some of the consequences. Has it divided the church? Because I'm sure it's not all the church leaders that are doing that. There are some that have done it. There are some that have remained silent. The division, I think this thing has, a spirit behind it that divides the world. And
a spirit?
Yes.
What spirit you're talking about there?
The spirit behind this pandemic has caused one of the greatest divide I have ever seen in my lifetime. The world has been divided. In 2020, Jamaica, we were all Jamaicans. We were fighting, trying to find ways, to cope with the virus.
Hold a while, Basil. Hold a while, Basil. I'm so sorry. We are at a break. Please hold that thought. We'll be right back.
I don't know if I'll bowl it as I was saying.
Hold it.
Okay.
The first sound they make is to simply let the world know they're here. And then it's our duty to help them show the world why they're here in the first place.
Give them every advantage with the Guardian Achiever, a plan that provides for their educational dreams and protects their health and life in the process. For more information, call 888-4LIFE to speak to an advisor or visit myguardiangroup.com.
There are a million reasons to want to own a home.
I want more space for the children.
I am tired of paying rent.
My wife and I want an investment. Go from future plans to keys in hand with an NCB mortgage. Get rates as low as 6.95%, 100% financing, and up to 40 years to repay. Plus, get the life insurance and home insurance you need all in one place. Visit myhome.jncb.com to get started. Conditions apply.
Exporters, have you heard? Certificates of origin are now online. Starting August 23, 2021, all exporters requiring a certificate of origin from the Trade Board Limited must submit their application using the Jamaica Single Window for Trade, J-SWIFT. All locally manufactured goods and agricultural produce for export must have an authorized certificate of origin in order to access and obtain preferential treatment in other territories and markets. Traders, your benefits include greater convenience and faster processing time, online application, payment, and approval, online access to the approved certificate of origin, and a system-generated CARICOM invoice. For more details, contact J-SWIFT at info@jswift.gov.jm. Jamaica Single Window for Trade. J-SWIFT, your window to trade. CIBC First Caribbean reminds you that our ABM cards will be deactivated on September 30, 2021 and upgraded to the Visa debit card. Your Visa debit card does everything your ABM card does and more. Use it at any ABM and to shop locally, internationally, and online with funds directly from your savings or checking account. Visit CIBCFCIB.com to sign up for a CIBC First Caribbean Visa debit card today.
Get on the path to financial freedom. Be your own boss with City and Guilds and Distinction College certification at Distinction College. Start full-time, part-time in weekend classes in plumbing, air conditioning and refrigeration, motor vehicle repairs and electrical installation. No subjects required, no age limit, no entrance test. Register this week and get free courses at huge discounts. Licensed employment agencies will assist students with job opportunities overseas. Visit us in Kingston, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios or call 876-356-4167. Distinction College, the school of champions.
Yes, miss, the online class is going well. My parents got big tablet savings from Flow, so I learn smarter and better from home.
Smartness runs in your family. Get 2 Samsung LTE tablets for only $6,000 plus GCT each when you bundle up your Flow mobile and home internet. Keep everyone connected to success with fiber fast internet and a new tablet for every lesson and study session anywhere. Visit a Flow store or discoverflow.co for excellent tablet savings. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second watch, we are discussing the whole matter of the church leaders who have been promoted COVID vaccination. Should church leaders be involved in doing so? And we have online Bishop Dr. Alvin Bailey, Vice President of the Jamaica Association of Evangelicals, and Mr. Basil Hansen, founder of MTV, and a Christian activist. Before the break, Mr. Hansen, you were telling us about this division that this whole COVID thing and vaccination has caused.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. So as I was saying, is that I believe the spirit behind this pandemic has caused one of the greatest divide I've ever seen in my lifetime. Let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. A couple in another country, One is vaccinated and the other is not. The wife is vaccinated, the husband is not. And the wife complaining that the husband cannot sleep in the same room with her because she's vaccinated and he's not. You know what that does? It divides them. He went to sleep in another room, and so this problem continues. The point I'm making, when we started out this journey, we heard that vaccination would bring people back to normal living. I don't think people are, in 2020, as I said, we were all fighting this pandemic, trying to survive and all of that. In 2021, when the vaccines begin to be distributed, we have two Jamaica. We have a vaccinated Jamaica and an unvaccinated Jamaica. Those who are not vaccinated are now called anti-vaxxers. And I think that is wrong. We cannot divide a country and expect it to be strong. Anything that you divide is going to be weak and it's going to fail. That's my take on that. But however, why I say that the Christian leaders who are promoting, I have asked the question, do you know what this vaccine will do in the months and years to come? Nobody has answered that question. We don't know. And so it is not about vaccine. I've been to Africa, so I take vaccine to go to Africa. But this case, it is a trust issue that we are battling. We are not getting the full information about this virus. We hear that our government has signed indemnity. So if people are damaged by this vaccine, there's no recourse, nowhere to turn. You have to deal with it on your own, right? How can you be telling people to take something, but at the same time, there's no protection for those who will have adverse side effects? I have known of persons who have taken the vaccine, and within days, they have died. I'm not saying it is a vaccine that killed them, but they have died. Nobody to say anything because there's nowhere to go. You have to take that responsibility, and the family have to deal with that and live with that. Therefore, I cannot promote something that I don't know. The goalposts keep changing. I thought that when we take the vaccine, people would be able to go back to normal. The vaccinated people would have been so protected that I would not have a problem if I am around them. But now it is the other way around. We both are still in the same place.
All right.
The vaccinated and the unvaccinated are still at the same place.
All right. So stick up in there. Bishop, your response?
Yeah, man, well, for response. First of all, I am very hesitant to embrace a philosophy that if I don't have all the information and all the details, then I don't support that thing. I do not know how the Spirit moves convincing men of sin, revealing Jesus Christ and creating faith in Him. But I know that when I believe, a difference is made. Let me tell you something. I don't understand everything about Bible and salvation, but when you see the result of somebody's faith, of conversion, I'm prepared. I don't know everything my mechanic does. I did a surgery recently. I do not know everything that they did with me before and after I come out of that surgery. There are a number of science and discipline that I subscribe to, believe in, preach and teach that I do not have all the information on. So I do not subscribe to a philosophy that says, if I do not have. I'm an engineer and a Christian practitioner, a theologian. I seek to get as much information as possible in these areas. But even then, my information is sometimes limited, but the result makes me make the overwhelming recommendation where necessary. Now, let me tell you, the anti-vaxxers are not persons who don't take vaccine. Anti-vaxxers are, for me, persons who oppose and promote the opposition of vaccination. Now, those are anti-vaxxers for me. I don't even call the person who is fearful because of whatever, comorbidity or whatever. They are influenced by other people. Anti-vaxxers. Anti-vaxxers are the proactive persons who are telling people, do not take vaccine. Now, let me tell you, I would rather, well, it's something he says about the Spirit and the vision.
Yeah, the vision, yes.
I believe that there's the two spirits line up behind anything at all that mankind do, or anything you are and be. Anything you do, anything you are, anything you be, two spirits are prepared to line up behind you. Evil spirit behind something, and the Spirit of the Lord is behind something. And let me tell you, on the flip side of it, I have not seen a unity greater than the unity that I am seeing now among churchmen in many years. In other words, the persons who are saying, do not vaccine, all right, or every Christian that are saying do not vaccine. I can go to my bed knowing that I tell persons not to opt for that which offers them the greatest opportunity to live. I cannot opt not giving advice to somebody to take the vaccine when I know that they take it, they are likely to be better off if they are stung, because I believe the technocrats, I believe the scientists, I believe the PhDs, and I believe the 30 years research that has been done on the vaccine. And I believe that the people, the hundreds of people who are testimonials on the program last night that I was on with the 900 odd people, plus the people in the hospital, plus my own members who work in the hospital, my own friends who are doctors, who are saying, when you take the vaccine, we take it, and when we take it, the impact on it is less. Up to yesterday morning and today, I've been talking to some of my doctor friends because I continue to assure myself that the advice I give to take the vaccine is based on empirical data and people's experience. So I encourage people to take it. Don't force it. Leave the word force and coercion, and all those things must not be a part of the process.
Yeah,
so,
but Bishop.
Yes,
Bishop. Yeah. One of the points made by Mr. Hansen has to do with the whole matter of legal redress. How wise is it for church leaders to involve themselves in promoting a product where there's no legal redress if it causes adverse reactions?
Listen, I don't want to leave the division thing before. I want to address the division because if the thing promotes divisiveness, you know, and we have to address it, and that maybe is one of the major problems. But I'm saying to you, whereas we are seeing Christians who are saying, why I'm hesitant, or I'm fearful, I don't vaccine, we are seeing a tremendous number of the Christian community who are together. At the first time, Mrs. 70 Adventist.
Yeah, man, you made the point. You made the point, Alvin. But the legal redress, though. The legal redress, yes.
I'll go in there, and I'm saying, but I must also say that before you disturb me, but about that is look here. I do not know. I have not heard. The topic has not been brought up as to whether or not there is any legal redress to the vaccine.
There's none. There's none, Alvin. There's none. That's the point that Basil is making. If anything happens.
No, but listen, I am not perturbed by that. No, I am not perturbed by that. I am perturbed by the fact of whether or not the overwhelming results save lives or not. Not a lawsuit.
All right. Basil,
Yes,
your response? Yes.
Well, I hear Reverend Daly. I don't agree with him, but I want to say the issue is not the vaccine. The issue is the trust issue. The fact that Alvin, I don't disturb you when you're talking. Alvin, I don't disturb you. Alvin. Let me make my point, or else just let me leave the program.
All right, Basil, go ahead.
Let me make my point. I didn't disturb you.
Go ahead, Basil.
I am saying the issue is the trust issue. People are hearing so many different information, so many things. And in the midst of all of this, we have people selling product that they are not prepared to take responsibility for. I have a serious issue with it. Doesn't matter how good it is. There are those who are going to have issue with it. And we are seeing it. And we are not hearing those things coming to the fore. We hear how many people have died daily. We hear of how many people recovered. But we don't hear much people die from the vaccine. They don't report that aspect of all of this. I'm saying if we have a comprehensive program, then deal with all the issues. Let people make up their mind based on the information, so we know that people can die from it. We know that people can have adverse effect. Tell us everything. Don't just tell us, and give us options. There are options out there. There is no option. The vaccine has been presented as the savior of the world. And we now know that Jesus Christ is the only savior of the world, not the vaccine. Here is what people are, if you don't take it, you're going to die. You can't live, you can't come near me, you can't this. It is now the savior of the world.
Time is up on us. Bishop, you have half a minute.
Apples and grapes. I'm saying to us that we trust who we want to trust. Right now, I trust and err on the side of life, saving lives. The testimonials are there for everybody to hear. Yes, I'm putting other in preventative measures and also treatment, which the government is not pushing, and that's what our problem I have with them. But I will not make the threat of a lawsuit or the absence of being able to pursue a lawsuit cause me to tell people.
Nobody is saying that there is threat of lawsuit.
I never disturb you. Never disturb you.
You did, so I just take out a little piece.
Gentlemen.
Listen, I have to stand on this, and I don't want to hear. Yes, I was, and you did not. God has used condemned things and condemned the world.
We have to leave it at that. We have to leave it at that. Bishop, we have to leave it at that. All right. Thank you, Bishop Daly. Have a good day.
Thank you, Reverend.
Yeah, good discussion. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. For information, get copies of this program. Call our production department at 876-968-95967. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Miss Kathy Gale, and our guests. Please join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. I'm Dylan Toussaint. Hand you back to Love in the Morning with Siobhan Blair.
Well, we have to take serious teammate joke here.
Especially in these times.
In these times, a light moment.
I tell you. Have a good day, Siobhan, and a good weekend.
You too. All the best. Thank you, listeners. This is Love It's 801. It's time for the program Forward in Faith, brought to you by the Portmore New Testament Church of God.
The Lord